Hi, everybody. It's Angel Morgan. I'm the host of my show. And today we have, for those just joining us, Shannon Taylor is going to be with us. We've been experiencing some massive technical difficulties today. So if it doesn't happen with Shannon this week, we are going to come back next week and have her on. But we're definitely going to have her on. So we're going to try this one more time with her. And hopefully everything will go exceptionally well, which I'm sure it will. But we're going to be talking, I think, about all the kind of esoteric gifts that we can give in this holiday season, why, how that works. And yet again, I'm so grateful for everybody coming. My name is Angel Morgan, and if you want to know more about me, it's raisingenergy.com. Until Shannon comes through, I'm going to tell you about some of the exciting things coming up. This Thursday, we are doing an animal communications course, and that animal communications course is going to be from 6 to 10. Normally, it's a $200 class. It's now half price at $100. It's going to be done via Zoom. You can, hi, Roberta, hi, Christine, and you guys can sign up at raisingenergy.com/events. Again, this is going to be a really intensive course for those of you who want to learn how to talk to animals. We're going to be going through the basics, the 4 levels of animal communications, how to connect to your spirit guides. We're going to be connecting to spirit animals, like how to find them and that kind of stuff, behavioral issues, lost pets. So this is a really intensive course for half of what it would normally cost. Excuse me. So of course it's going to be raisingenergy.com/events. And then the following week, I'm going to be doing an Akashic Records reading course, which is really cool for anybody who wants to grow their abilities. In this particular course, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be opening ourselves up to a whole nother level of working with guides, guardians, angels, archangels, and the unexpected. I love doing readings through the Akashic Records. It's just phenomenal. And we've actually done a show on my show that has been completely talking about that. Yeah, Debbie's coming. That's going to be great. So we already have a few people. I would love to have some more. And again, it's raisingenergy.com/events for any of our classes. And I'm also going to be posting very shortly a whole list of links. And these links are going to be really cool because they're going to be all the places that you can get socially aware gifts for the seasons. And we talked about that last week. We talked about all kinds of really cool aware gifts like For Ocean, which is you give them money, they give you bracelets, jewelry, that kind of stuff, and that a portion of that money goes to helping to clean up the sea. And I think that's a really cool thing. Roberta says, I hope you offer both of these courses again in the future after my move. I'm so interested. Yes, I'm consistently offering these courses. I will be offering them again next year. I just never know when, and they're so far and few between. And I love to offer them because I really feel that there has to be a bridge between the human world and the animal world. So we're just waiting for our guest, Shannon Taylor. And one of the reasons we're having her on is because I would love to do readings with her today. So we are going to be doing readings. So stay tuned for that. And we're going to be talking about what kind of gifts you can get at a metaphysical store for the holiday season. And one of the things you can do too is you can buy gift certificates, which are now available at raisingenergy.com. And I love gift certificates because they make great stocking stuffers. And that's something I was going to talk to Shannon about too, because I know she does this kind of work with her store, the Corner Wellness Center in Kennington, Ontario. So gift certificates are a great way to introduce people to the esoteric world, because then it gives them a choice. It gives them that choice of what kind of reading they want, how they want to do it. I think those kinds of things are really exciting, and it shows that you care, especially around Christmas and New Year's. New Year's is a great time to get readings because it talks about the future and what's to come in 2021. God knows 2020 has been very adventurous. Let's see what's coming next year. But also at Christmas time, it's a really wonderful time to get that kind of reading because again, the veils are very thin, like at Halloween, but in a very different way. And people become very sentimental. It's a great time to connect with the ancestors. I find grandmothers, grandfathers, those who have recently passed away within the year, because we're really feeling it. I have a few clients who have been getting readings with me because their parents have just crossed over and they want to do it closer to the Christmas holidays because it's a big time for them to celebrate. And it really is for everybody. It is. So these kinds of gift certificates and stuff, they're really important to think about. And one of the other things that Shannon and I were talking about too was tarot cards. Tarot cards are a wonderful gift. And there is a traditional way of thinking that tarot cards are to be gifted to people. And I was telling a story about how I was in a store the very first day I was working as a psychic professionally, and I kept going past this aisle and this deck fell out. And then I went back, the deck fell out again. I thought, you know what, I don't have enough money. Tried to leave the store and it was like I was hitting a wall. And I thought, all right, you know what, I'm going to buy them. And they're the only deck that I actually use on a professional level. I absolutely love them. Other gifts, please. If you have any ideas of what kind of esoteric gifts to give other people, I know that our audience would love to hear about it. So let me know, talk to me about the kinds of things you've either given to others or things that you would love to be given for Christmas. What kind of things would you like to get? There was a time when stones, jewelry, that was a favorite thing for me. And I think one of the nicest gifts I was ever given esoterically was a beautiful moonstone. And I loved it. The other thing I was given that was one of my favorite absolute, and this was actually a Christmas gift too, now that I think of it. One of my mentors actually gave me an obsidian knife. You know those knives? Okay, really cool thing. So years after I got this gift, I got into a show that I think a lot of people know called Game of Thrones. Anybody see this show? Give me some loves and likes. Game of Thrones. Absolutely love it. And there were these creatures in this thing, and the only way you could kill them was with an obsidian knife. It was so cool. Guess what? It was exactly the same knife that I was given. And the reason I was given this knife is not because I'm a weapons collector, because I'm not. It's because that obsidian is really great for cord cutting. And being a healer, being very into the work that I was doing at the time, this was something that to me was a gift that was very thoughtful. And it's something that I had seen on the shelf in the back room, actually not displayed. And it was a really beautiful thing to give. So something that was meaningful to me as well. So if you know somebody who's energetic, these are really great things. Books are wonderful too. There are some really good books on protections and esoteric protections, how to protect yourself when you are working within this realm. And that's something that I think is excessively important, especially if you have a young person who is really into this kind of work or getting into this kind of work. Books are amazing. And I'm going to post a couple of those, what do they call them? Those titles later on. Other things that we can give for the holiday season, if you have somebody who is energetic or esoteric, might be statues. I write. Everybody knows I have my own blog, mypsychiclifestyle.com. And in that, I love to have my statue of Thoth and Odin, I love as well, because they are the gods of Odin is the god of inspiration. Thoth is the god of writers because he keeps the book of the dead. And I really love that. And a friend of mine, actually, she's a writer and she calls in Archangel Gabriel. And she goes, be really careful because you become obsessive with him. Make sure you release him at the end. She goes, I didn't eat, I didn't drink, and I didn't realize, oh my God, I hadn't released him. And I was going nuts. So statues are really wonderful to help inspire. And my favorite thing is statues of the gods. I find them really, really beautiful. I also have a statue of Diana, the goddess of the animals, and Saint Francis. I bought that actually in Guatemala. That wasn't a gift, but Saint Francis, for anybody who's into animals, who wants to be unassuming, is really great, because I find too that people don't necessarily want to vocalize who they are and what they are very loudly. Oh, look, Shannon's with us. Hi, Shannon. Bring her on camera. I'm statues. Hi, Shannon. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Oh my God, I can hear you.
Is that better?
It is wicked. Better.
And
So
if
excited.
anybody can just let me know if I'm
Yeah.
echoing or if there's
Yeah, let
feedback
us
now that
know.
I'm here, please.
Yeah, I think everything is going to work now. So, we were just talking about esoteric gifts. So, last week we were talking about what kind of socially aware gifts you can give, like for ocean. And there was another one that I really liked. And you can like buy jewelry, and then part of that goes to cleaning up the oceans, right?
Nice.
So, this week, I think with you, what we're going to talk about is more esoteric gifts. So Kim Sharon says, wicked, both awesome, much better, says Lynn. Okay, so we're rocking and rolling. So for the first half of the show, we're going to talk a little bit about that kind of stuff. And then we're going to go
Okay.
into maybe doing some readings and see if people have questions as well. So what I was just talking about was statues. I love working with statues, and I think they make beautiful gifts. I was actually talking about a gift of St. Francis that I had for anybody who wants to be unassuming. So if somebody wants to be unassuming with their gifts, right? They don't want to call out to the world that they're a psychic or a witch or whatever, a healer. What kind of gifts would you recommend, or what kind of things would you recommend people have?
Um, I'm a crystal junkie, so I'm going to say crystals
Yeah,
because
I love
to
that.
some people, they consider them just stones, right? To those of us who like to work with them, then they have a
Yes.
higher meaning. So
Yeah.
stones, figurines, so angels, things like that, that
Yeah.
can fit across the board, right?
Actually, that's a good one. I love that idea of angels. We have a Saint Michael here, and people, I put that one out where everybody can see it, but they don't, for me, they don't quite understand the deeper meaning of me working with him as a healer,
Right.
right? They just think, oh, like my mother. If my mother comes over, she's like, oh, Saint Michael, that's so nice. He protects Joseph. And I'm like, yeah, that's one of the reasons he's here.
Part of it, yeah.
Absolutely. Part of it. So yeah, I like that idea too. But with crystals, how do people, and you're a perfect person to ask because you have your store. Um, how do people choose their stones? How do people choose gifts for themselves or others that would resonate?
Um,
Let's look at crystals. Let's take crystals, for example.
okay, so I'm very much a person who believes that you can choose for somebody because you know that person and that you
Mm-hmm.
can choose for yourself, right? Sometimes people will ask me what I would think or what I would choose, and I'll tune in and see which will step forward. Because typically, in my experience, I find that items will say, I want to go, right? I want to go with that person. I want to
Yeah.
be there with them. But I think that if you're buying a gift for somebody, you know that person, hold it in your hand, see what it feels like, get a sense of it, and you'll have a pretty good idea whether or not it wants to go for that person, right? And very few people I think will not feel anything. I think that if you give yourself a second, you will feel something, right?
Yeah, and I think other people do just know. They're just like, I don't know why I want to buy this, but I have to
Yeah,
buy this for this person, right?
exactly.
I find too, and this actually happened with a deck of cards. I had a deck of cards for years and years and years, never understood why I bought it. And then I hooked up with my fiance, and about 3 months into the relationship, it literally again fell off the shelf in my room, and I went, "Oh my God, this I've been holding this for him." And it became his deck. So, how do you feel about things that already belong to somebody that they feel they need to be gifted forward? How do you feel about that? What's your frame of thought on that one?
That if we personally have something and we gift it forward,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's awesome.
Yeah, see, I do too, but a lot of people have asked me that question. It's like, well, I have this, but it's been mine, so should I move it forward? For me, I feel like yes, but when I do something like that, I'll clear it, right? I'll
Right. Oh,
clear it
yeah, yeah, yeah.
first to take my energy away from it or to minimize my energy because again, because I'm gifting it, my energy is going to be on it. But if I've worked with it or it's something that's been with me for a long time, I'll usually either put it through ceremony or I'll do something to cleanse and clear it to be able to move that forward, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a good idea. Something that's jumping to mind, and I don't know why. I guess this is for somebody out there. Whoa, I'm gonna fall off the bed. Oh my God, that would have been unexpected. The pendulums.
Right.
How do you feel about pendulums and gifting those away or moving those forward? So when we used to work at the Hedge Witch, people would come in and they'd say, I have a daughter and she really likes this kind of stuff. She doesn't have a pendulum. I want to buy a pendulum for, say, my daughter or my son, in fact. How would somebody pick a pendulum? Would that be the same, do you think, as somebody else? Like a stone or a book?
I think so. I
Yeah.
it pendulums are a little bit different because
Yeah.
sometimes I find that one will really speak to somebody. Um, but at the same time, if you buy it for them and you gift it to them, it gives them a start. It may not be the one that is supposed to be the one they use all the time, but at least it's a
Yeah.
start, right? You're still tuning into their energy, I think, a little bit. It's just not the
I
same vibe, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. Now that I think of it, I think I was the one to buy Jay his first pendulum, and it was a little copper one. And it just kept singing to me. And I thought, yeah, that's very Joseph. And I think he was about 5 or 6. And so I gave him that, and he never used it as a pendulum, but he always carried it. He always carried it until he found one that belonged to him. But at least it attuned him to the vibration of the pendulum. So maybe that's it too. It's not necessarily that you're buying it for them as the pendulum so much as when somebody carries something, it actually brings them up to the vibe of that particular
Right.
object or modality that they're supposed to be on. If anybody has questions for Shannon, like what kind of gifts or what kind of things um, you can do. See, one of the reasons I love having you on is because you have been a store owner, right? So you've seen all kinds of people come through the door and ask for amazing stuff. What is the weirdest gift or the strangest gift anybody has come in and said, hey, do you have this?
Um, I don't know if there is a strangest gift. There's
Yeah.
not one that jumps out at me.
No,
No.
no, I don't think I've had. I did, yes, I did. I remember one when I was at the Hedge Witch. There was a woman, and she came in, and she actually asked for a dry seahorse.
Okay, that's interesting. Oh, okay. If you're going to say that, people have asked for um,
Oh,
like eagle claws and things that aren't, to me, I don't find
yes.
them weird, right? Like it makes
Okay.
sense
Yeah.
in that respect, but odd requests, I guess, or things
Yeah.
that
Okay.
aren't
Let's call
readily
it
carried, right?
unusual yeah, unusual or alternative.
Right.
I like those kinds of requests. And what's really funny is we had said no to this woman. We didn't even know where to get it. About a week later, I found myself in Kensington Market, and there is an apothecary there. It's not even marked. There's no name. Okay,
Right.
it's on Edward Street. If anybody wants to find it, it's called. There's a cafe across the street called the Blue Moon Cafe. It's right across the street. They've been there for 30 years, and they sell things like that. And I found a dried seahorse, so I bought it, hoping that woman would come back, and she did about 2 months later. So I gifted the
Crazy, eh?
seahorse to her. Yeah, she was still. I said, "Are you still looking for that?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Hang on a second." And I had left it at the store. Hadar says necklaces are a good gift. I love necklaces and I think they're really great. I find you have to be really careful with jewelry though, because like for me, example, I don't wear gold, right? I don't wear gold because my grandmother made a promise that if my grandfather came home safely, there's a story around that from World War II that she would never wear gold again. And when I was a little girl, I heard this story and I actually made a vow never to wear gold to the point where my fiance knew that. And when he bought me my ring, he bought me a platinum ring, a platinum one, which is really cool. So you can get them in platinum, palladium now. Silver is very soft. So you can get alternatives. So make sure if you're buying a necklace that it's someone that you know well. Okay.
Right.
Because you don't know that and there might even be allergies, right? Which is really cool. Like, not cool, but very unique because people do have allergies to certain metals. Like, I have allergies to copper, right?
Yep.
What is the coolest gift you've ever been given on an esoteric level, Shannon?
Condor feather.
Oh, I have two, but I was gifted them. Was it Marco and Martin that gave them to you? Yeah, that's right, because you have them at your store, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So those are really meaningful gifts when you get them from medicine people, right? Like just recently, my friend Lewis, who is a medicine man, just came back from Africa. He works with the Iboga, and he gave us a beautiful torch. It was a male torch, and I have it actually on my altar. So gifts like that are really, really beautiful too. So if you get something from a medicine person, I think that's amazing. I've also had gifts from medicine people that I felt the need to move forward as well. So I think the message there for me is that if you have something that's been meaningful to you, but it's time to move it forward, do,
Yeah,
right?
I agree with that.
Um, Yeah, I think that's really important. So, are you okay if we open this up to asking people asking psychic questions now?
Yep.
Because what we can do is continue to work with this, but as people ask, then we can tap in. Because I've never actually worked with you like this before, have I? I
Um,
don't think I
Not
have. Have we
live,
ever?
no.
No, yes, no, not live. Oh my
Not
God, I'm so
live.
excited. Okay, people, so here's the first. All right, so if anybody has a question for Shannon or myself or together on a psychic level, please feel free to chime in. Jessica says, I was just thinking about my pendulum right before you said that. Okay, so Jessica, that was probably for you. You might have a couple of friends who need to be moved forward. Now, I have about 10 or 11 pendulums because when I used to do gatherings, I used to take pendulums with me because that was part of my thing, right? Is I would leave all the stuff out there for people to play with and I would explain how to use them. And then while I was reading one person, then other people. So now I have like 10 or 15 of them actually. And I've been feeling the need to move them forward. So if anybody has a question that is a psychic question, please let us know. Renee St. John says, what do you feel for me? That's a great question, but if we can keep them specific, that would be really good too, just simply because it helps us to tap into something really, really specific for you. Shannon, can you move your phone just a little bit away from me because I can see from about here. Oh, there you are. You're so beautiful.
Thank you.
Hello.
I just means I have to hold my arms out farther.
I know, me too. I do too. Okay, so what do you feel for me? So Renee St. James asked, "What do you feel for me? What do you get for her?"
I'm getting a sense of her. She has a lot of spiritual energy around her. Her angels are very closely connected and they are tuning into her like they are trying to send her messages. She's moving, I get the sense that she's moving through some shifts right now. So maybe at a
Very good.
crossroads, things where she's starting to have to make decisions, right?
Oh, you know what's really interesting is this is why I was really quiet because I got dogs around her. I got two dogs around her, but I don't know if Renee actually has dogs. And then all of a sudden they went spirit animals showing the way. And they're showing me that the greyhound will actually guide you. So where Shannon is seeing angels, I'm seeing alongside that guides and guardians. And the dog is one that you want to look to. Either brown brindle dogs or greyhounds. When you see them, know that you're on the right way. And there is something about a movement forward, and you're going to be given a sign that is correct movement forward. And I don't know if that's a physical, hang on a second. Speaking of angels, I get this high pitched sound, and when that happens, I always have to listen. Flow like the water. You're not drinking enough water either on a physical level. That's going to help you open up to a higher aspect of yourself where you can hear and connect to your guidance. And that kind of adds on to what Shannon's saying too. If that makes sense, Renee, let us know, please. Let's see who else has some questions for us. Oh, okay, here's a good one. Mary Kellick says, can you recommend a crystal that you can use for strength and guidance? So I'm going to take that as inner strength and to help, kind of see your way. So what would you recommend for strength and guidance, Shannon? That's a
So
great question, Mary.
it is a good question. Um, I'm hearing amethyst specifically. So if
Mm-hmm.
you already have an amethyst, pull it out and start working with it again. I'm also getting, I'm feeling something green like amazonite or emerald or something like that, something to help her connect on a heart level.
Yeah, it's funny you said heart level because I actually saw the amethyst being close to the chest area or the solar plexus area to help not just protect but clear
It's
and
like
also,
power,
yeah, that's where the inner power
connecting
is.
with power.
And that's actually the heart chakra. So what you're seeing, I think, is where she puts the amethyst is actually going to help with the heart chakra. Does that make sense?
Yeah, could. Yep.
Yeah. I'm
I
also
do
seeing a
get the
moss.
green stone too, though. Like I
Yeah,
feel
you know
like
what? I
she's,
just saw moss agate. I
that
just
would be a
saw
good
moss
one.
agate. I don't know why, but you're the stone person, so I'm going to leave that one to you because I'm not big on stones. Like I work with them, but I'm not as good with them as you, right? And that's the other thing I think people need to understand. We all have our fortes,
Oh,
right? So
yeah.
where you love your crystals, I've always been okay with them and I love them, but I have very specific ones that I work with. Okay,
Right.
very, very specific. So you heard that. So if any green ones jump out at you, that's good. But amethyst, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Shannon. Sharon Reed says, "Do you have any message for my granddaughter Taylor from her grandparents or aunts?" I'm going to give that one to you because I get grandparents around that one.
I
guidance?
get grandmother specifically.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess
I'm
she's
getting,
very protected.
I get that, and I'm getting really strong messages about following dreams. I feel like she keeps putting her stuff on a back burner. And it's like, you need to step out. You need to step out from behind that wall and start showing the world what you have to offer. Not playing small anymore is what I'm
Yeah.
getting. Like, she's almost like the self-doubt keeps taking over, but it's time to step out of that. And that no matter
So
what she does, they've got her back.
yeah, I've got that too. And that's really what I get too. And I get her smiling. I get the young woman smiling. And I like that smiling because it feels like there's a warmth and a safety around her. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. So the other next question I have is from Lynn. It's not actually a question. She says, I just found my two of my pendulums yesterday. Wow. And I love that because
Do, do, do.
things always connect. Like here we are going, oh, okay, there's something about pendulums and people need to hear about it. And then these wonderful synchronicities happen. And I love synchronicities. And you'll find with gift giving that happens too. You're like, oh, you know what? I have this set of runes and I needed to give them to you. And you're like, oh my God, I was just thinking about rune stones. Oh, thank you. That kind of stuff. So I love it when that happens. So here's one too. Samantha Bennett says, am I right with wanting to file for divorce? You know what? I keep getting to consider that path. And I keep seeing Apache's tear. That's really funny. We're talking about crystals because I haven't thought about Apache's tear in a long time. And that's about grief and grieving the relationship, but it's going to clear you to new paths. But I feel like you may go down that path. It's just not right timing. Not right timing. What do you get, Shannon?
I get the same thing. It's almost like teetering back and forth with the decision.
Yeah.
Like this,
Yeah.
and those are always hard questions, right? Because um, the universe doesn't let me tell someone yes or no, right? To a question like that, it's one of those where they'll basically say to me, this is what's going to happen if you do this. This is what's going to happen if you do that, and the
Yes.
decision's up to you, right?
And
Um,
and that's what I say to my clients too, right? I show you your strongest path. You step to the left, you step to the right, you can change it. It doesn't make your path worse, it makes it different. In
yeah,
this case, though, I feel like she, at least the path of separation is there. But I don't know if that's emotional or physical. It feels like it may there's a crossroads she's going to come to for sure, but the reality is the Apache's tear is what's actually going to help you make that decision as to which direction you're going to go to. So you haven't hit that crossroads yet, so don't jump, I think, is what we're
I'm
trying
getting
to
that the
say.
Apache tier will help to ground too. So
Yeah, I
the
agree.
answer is going to come from the place of in a calm, clear mind spot versus
Hmm.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Right?
Okay, yep, I agree with that. Okay, I gotta go back here. Kristen Reed. Hi, ladies. Any messages from my sister or my dad? I get sister. She's laughing. She's hugging her.
Totally.
And yeah, I get that. And I get her moving her forward. Do it, do it, do it. I feel like something new is happening. I don't know if that's a move, but I get do it, do it, do it. What are you getting, Shannon?
I'm getting the same thing. I pick up the sister right away. She's
Yeah,
very happy, energetic. Like energy is very,
just
very good.
really happy. Yeah, and
Yeah.
really happy for her
And
sister.
safe too. I
Yeah,
get that she is safe. Um, yeah, it's like she's trying to open doors for her too, right? Like I am
I
open,
get
you're
that.
asking for these doors, I am opening these doors, you need to walk through. I can't.
Yeah,
I'd
and
love to
that's the
push you,
do it.
but I can't,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. It's the do it, do it, do it, but now it's your choice. And I get
Yeah.
that too. Yeah, I get that very fully. This is a really, really interesting one from Leslie Black. What does my recently deceased boyfriend think as it is his friend? Um,
He wants you to be happy is what I'm hearing very clearly.
I get a sadness, but in the same time, it's accepting, and that if this is what feels right for you, that's the path you need to go down.
There's a comfort there too, right?
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
that. That's a really interesting one because I love that because you have these relationships that are still influencing. And I love to hear what the people on the other side have to say. I think that's one of my favorite parts about it. Now we're going to go to, um, okay, I'm gonna give you Roberta. Roberta has a great question here, because, and this is a very important thing. And thank you, Roberta, for this. I know Roberta.
I love her. She is one of my dearest peeps. I feel is one of my dearest peeps. So I'm going to give this one to you, Shannon, because I know her, and I want to see different eyes on this and see if it's what I get in the past. I'd love to know what both of you feel my next career move will be. Can I ask two questions? Will my Sammy's spirit, whoops, here we go. Will my Sammy spirit move with me when I move to my new home? I'm going to take that part. I will take that
Okay.
part. You take the first part. Okay. We'll take the second part too, but I'll give you that one. Okay. So career, what do you see for her career move?
Um, so I am being shown the need to serve people. Um, Big, huge heart, great stories, great storyteller. So I'm not being shown one specific thing because there's several different things she could potentially do, or a combination of a couple.
And I agree
Um,
with that. And I feel like there are opportunities already. Like there are a few things she's looking at. One of them is something she's already strong in, and others are kind of along those same lines, but have a little bit of a different tangent to it.
I feel like she needs to bring more of herself to what she wants to do, though, right? Like there's the education part of what we do, and then there's us of what we do. And she's forgetting the us. She's forgetting the her part of what she brings forward to whatever she does, no matter what direction she goes in, no matter what career job, she's going to be awesome at it. So it's just a matter of trying to figure it out and trying to decide what fits at this moment.
But I think what you just said is bang on, because I don't be afraid, Roberta, of bringing you fully to the table.
Yeah.
Because the reality is that you give yourself credit that you're really good at what you do, but it's having the courage to take that action and going, okay, I can act on this, and that's actually what's going to put you directly on your path. Okay. And there actually may be a little bit of education involved. I don't know, but I think Shannon is bang on about even your personality. You pinned her. She is so awesome, massive heart. And I think just having the courage to go, I'm going to be me. I don't care what anybody says about my career. I'm just going to bring me to the table. And I think you do that just more, 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 more. Okay. Where Sammy is concerned, Sammy was her loving dog, and already there. It's like the dog is already there, before you are. So yeah, there's no. It's like, oh my God, come on, let's go, let's go. And I love that. How do you feel about that, Shannon? What do you
I
get?
totally agree. Even before, as soon as you asked the question,
Yeah,
I got
I
that
agree with.
Sammy's going for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Alicia says, how do I tune into vibrational level? Wait, how do I tune into vibrational level from buzzing in ears to hearing messages? Okay, so she's hearing the buzzing. How do we translate that into messages, or how do you get that part of the message?
Okay, so for myself, the way I explain it to people is ask them to quiet it down, ask them to slow it down, and sometimes you're not going to get any more than the buzz, because that message is on a frequency that we are just not,
Yeah.
in a human form, not able to translate. But your
Yes.
soul knows what the message is, so go with that.
And,
But if it's the
and
high pitched squeal, ask them just to quiet it down, right? Like,
yeah.
that's too loud, please quiet it down.
Yeah, and a lot of times what I'll do is when I do get that high pitched sound, I fall into it. What do you want? I'll just ask, what do you want?
Yeah,
But
what's the
sometimes,
message?
yeah, but sometimes I don't hear a voice. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Sometimes it's like, okay, you know what? I feel the message
Yep. Or you
and I
see
know
something.
or I see it. So
Yep.
don't expect to have words. Don't expect it to be verbal. But where the buzzing is concerned, I agree with you wholeheartedly. That's perfect.
Well, and
Leslie,
sometimes the buzzing is like the phone's ringing, like, hey, you need to pick this up, and
yeah,
then it gets your
just listen.
attention, right? And then you pay attention.
Yep,
Yep.
absolutely. Leslie Black says, Angel, your reading about him wanting to marry me gave me the closure and encouragement to reach out to his friend. Oh, I'm so happy for that. I am so happy for that. That's awesome. Stephen Hunt says, we are waiting for funding in our business. Is it coming? Shannon, go for it.
I'm hearing yes, but it's not going to be as quickly as you're hoping for.
I get that too.
Yeah.
But it will be there. It will be there,
Yeah.
but you got to wait. I'm looking next year. I hear next year. So you're just gonna have to wait. And I feel like it will come around the beginning of the year, around by March, everything feels done, but you are gonna have to wait. Patience, my friend. Kira is a wonderful intuitive. I have a question. How I've been practicing my gifts using my Lenormand cards. I've been having issue with discouragement. Hang on a second. Okay, this is what can be done. Wait, what can I be doing to help with that? Discouraging because if I ask an obvious question to test out the cards and get the wrong answer. I hope I explained that clearly. So she's feeling discouraged with her cards, right? So she's asking questions. She's not getting answers or the answers that are correct. Like, when you do a pendulum and you ask for your yeses and nos and that kind of thing. I think she's asking questions and she's not getting the accurate answers. What do you feel about that? Or what do you feel for Kira in this particular case?
So there's a couple of things coming through. The first thing, when you were first asking the question, I'm hearing is, I feel like trying to connect with the cards is taking away from her own intuition. And the reason I say that is, Kira, when you're asking a specific question and you pull a card, you're looking at the card going, but this isn't what I feel. So then it's starting to be discouraging. So what I get the point of wanting to work with our cards, but I feel like asking your question first, paying attention to your own guidance, your own intuition, then drawing a card. Because, and the reason I'm feeling this is that I just get this sense that you're more intuitively open than you realize, but you're relying on the cards to show you the confirmation, and they're not necessarily aligning with what you are intuitively picking up on in the first place.
And be careful too, because what you're getting may not be in line with what's in a book when you have your cards, right? So you have your cards and then there's the book definition of the card. I've never done that. So when I throw down a card, I let the card speak to me. And sometimes what will happen is it will add to what I'm feeling rather than give me exactly what I'm feeling, right? So if I see a certain thing, it'll give me the next part of the story. So don't feel discouraged when you look at your cards. Understand that it's trying to tell you something that may not even be revealed to you yet. It might be another part of the story as well. And also walk away from them every once in a while. Okay. And remember, cards are not logical, they're feel. Okay. Watch how you use your head with the cards as well. Tabitha, I like this one. Again, this is for you, Shannon. Is there anything that can be used to help with anxiety, depression in regards to stones?
So my favorite, I don't chuckle at the question. I just chuckle at the stone that comes through most often for anxiety, things like that. I call it the go-to stone, would definitely be amethyst. And I don't mean to chuckle about it, but it's true. We all need a little bit of extra when it comes to that. But I'm hearing amethyst again. I'm also hearing a good grounding stone like an obsidian would be a good one for her.
Yeah, that's also clearing. Obsidian is very clearing. And especially now in these times of isolation, and now we're coming back into, what some people are considering a second wave, whatever. This is a very important thing to know, that stones can help you through these times, right? Yeah. So the anxiety that we're feeling, the depression we're feeling, lack of motivation that we're feeling, these things aren't just about the motivation and the anxiety. This is stuff that we're already carrying that needs to be cleared. Right. So obsidian is a really great one to use. I agree with you on that. Okay. So
and acknowledging those feelings, sorry, just before you move on, acknowledging the feelings that are coming through so that you're not stuck trying to bottle them or fight them or pretend they're not there, because I think that sometimes we do that, right? I'm not really anxious. I'm not really depressed. I'm not really not motivated. And you give some honor to that. It helps to clear it.
I agree, because a lot of us go, but I have to be positive. I have to be positive. And you know what? That's not positivity. Positivity is actually the acknowledgement of the moment that you're in and the emotion that you're in. And that's what releases it in order for you to feel true positivity. Okay. Because, not acknowledging it, we're bottling it. We're suppressing it.
Saving it for another day.
Yep, that's right. And then it'll come up harder and heavier.
Yep.
Which really sucks. So Teresa says, hi, ladies. I've been seeing numbers lately, especially 333, 444, and 111. Any messages for me? Thank you. Now, do you work with numerology?
I won't say I work with numerology, but I do love numbers. I like to see them. I pick up on them all the time. 444 has been a huge one for me lately. That one's all about your angels being with you and surrounding you and connecting you. And numbers are huge right now because for those of us that need the signs and to see the messages, those are ones that are easy to manipulate, right? They're ones that are easy to throw in our
statements. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
the angel statements. 111 is about coming full circle and manifesting. So, what kind of dreams do you want to manifest for you, Teresa? Feels like goal setting.
Yeah.
And 333 is the universe approves. So I love it when I see 2223 or 3332 because it means I'm on the right path and the universe approves. Yes.
And I like
And
that 111 too for opening up intuition, right? Like
yes,
really connecting, clearing
higher.
mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A really great website for that I use all the time is Joan's Sacred. She has a really good Joan's Sacred meaning, and I'm actually going to put that it's a really wonderful site. I really love that. And I'm going to put that I don't know if I can do that. There it is. Joan Sacred. Now, where can, new number meanings, where can people find you? Um, Hang on a second. Number meaning. Shannon, where can people find you if they want a reading or they want advice or they want to buy something? Because I know you still have product that you work with. So where can they find you?
Facebook's probably the best place. You can find me on my personal page or at the Cornerstone Wellness Center would be
Okay.
probably the best places.
So I will put that down too, the Cornerstone Wellness Center. And you guys do have a page, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Center Facebook page okay. Ooh, that sucked. Did that corner really? Stone Wellness Center Facebook page. Oops. Page, Page, and I'm going to send that. There you go. So everybody has that. You can go check out her Facebook page, and that's going to be really exciting for you guys to hook up with her because she's so knowledgeable and she's so wonderful.
Thank
And
you.
you're welcome. And you're going to start teaching. Now, do you teach online classes as well?
Yeah, I do. I did an intro to intuition online class. Right now I'm doing a
Okay.
You Empowered online
What is
class
you
at the moment.
empowered? What is that? What is that?
So that one just started. It's basically empowering you. I don't know how else to describe it. But it's a 6 week program where we just work through different meditations. There's live videos. There's
Good.
work stuff that we need to do. Tuning into our goddess stuff, opening up our intuition, like really focusing on ourselves, moving ourselves forward, self-care, that sort of stuff.
And know that this is for men as well, right? We have a lot of viewers who are guys out there who watch the show. And, if anybody is looking for this kind of stuff, all of these classes, they're for men as well as women. Even though a lot of people think our work is very feminine based, you'd be surprised at how many gifted men work with this aspect of who we are, the more feminine aspect, which keeps us nice and balanced. Lindsay says, any crystal recommendations for me specifically for solar plexus?
Um, a very typical stone for solar plexus would be citrine, is a good one.
Oh, okay, that's a
For
good one.
her, I feel like it's going to bring in abundance and a sense of power. There's a lot of power coming back. This is the second time we've kind of talked about someone's power.
Mhm.
Another really good stone, I'm getting tiger's eye
Oh my
as well,
God,
which
that's what
is,
I got too. But I didn't see
yeah,
that because tiger's eye, actually, that is for empowerment, but it's a very masculine stone. So if you're
totally.
using tiger's eye, it's to rebalance your masculine and feminine. But I got that one too. That's so funny. Yeah.
And that one is for her, it's one that's going to help her connect easier. So
Mhm.
it will get rid of the muddied waters,
Yes. Okay. So
which
V
is not
says,
typical of tiger eye, which is why I'm
no, it isn't. No,
spelling
it
that out,
isn't. But
right?
that's a good, yeah, but that's a good one again for solidity and grounding. And again, the muddiness is the imbalance, right? The
Yeah.
imbalance between the masculine and feminine. Because the more balanced we are, the clearer the messages come, the clearer our focus. And speaking of focus, I have one from V, and she says, "Hi, Angel and Shannon. Any messages surrounding focus? I feel like I'm all over the place, wanting to do one thing one day and another thing the next." Focus. It's funny for her, I keep getting hematite. Hematite would be a really good stone for her because that's all about rebalancing too, and something about the stomach. There's something going on with her stomach. But yeah, you have to understand these times that we're in. It does make it a little hard to focus, and this is why we do need to get outside, get into nature. And I do get that environment, and the environmental colors right now are very good for you, like the siennas, the burnt oranges, and things like that. So bring those colors into your life. So if people want to know about color therapy and stuff like that, are there books on that, do you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Even
Yep.
online, I guess they can even go online. But for you, and they're saying pumpkin colors. So fall colors are really good for you right now. But get outside, V. Get outside. How do you feel about that, Shannon?
I would agree with that. And part
Yeah.
of the focus thing, I think that's part of the energy, like pandemic energy, full moon, time change, Halloween. Like we are in a very, we're all over the place. So even making yourself lists or keeping stuff in your agenda of things that you want to accomplish. And if today you want to do this and tomorrow you want to do that, if your time and your things allow you to do it, then just embrace that
Yeah.
and
I agree.
move through it and just finish what you start on that day and then move on to the next thing the next day.
Yeah, and I'm finding a lot of people are having a hard time with that focus and motivation too. Like my son just woke up this morning. He's like, I really want to work out, but I don't feel motivated. I'm only starting to get there, and I am having to push through, right? So
Yeah,
no matter how energetic or highly vibrational you are or ascended you are, everybody's going to feel it to one degree or another
totally.
because we're still human, right?
Yeah.
So just understand and know that you are not alone in that. Roberta says, "Oh, thank you both so much. I have tears of joy. I'm so grateful." And she is. She's an incredibly grateful person. She's just a wonderful person. If we don't get to your question, we're trying to get to everybody's question, so I apologize. We have a lot of people, so if you have a second or third question, we're going to try to get to everybody's first question first, and then we'll come back if we can. If you do want readings with us, again, Cornerstone Wellness Center, or you can find me at raisingenergy.com. I don't know, I don't know if you do, but I do taster readings as well, like 15 minutes. So if you have
Yep.
like a one-off or two-off question, those are really good ones to ask if you just have those one or two questions. Half hour is for a much deeper reading, but it's amazing how much you get in 15 minutes, eh?
Oh yeah,
Like it's
totally.
incredible. Tabitha says, is house purchasing in my future? Not
How
at
is
the
what?
moment.
Sorry.
House purchasing. Is
Oh, house
purchasing in
purchasing.
my future? I'm not really seeing it right now. I feel like that opens up for me more in that starts to flow for me more next year, next fall. I don't know. If you get something different, let me know.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Cheryl D says, do I need to sage my new house? Always. Always. And it's not just about people. Now, this is an interesting thing. This is not just about people who have left the house. If you have a new house, it's about the construction workers. It's about renovations that have been done, the people who have come to see the house. It's not just about the people who've lived there. You want to start from scratch. Okay. Where can they get sage from you? Can they get smudge from you?
Yep.
Yeah, they can. And how do people order stuff from you? Can you pull out your phone a little bit?
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm just trying to read
Fine.
the
It's
comments
okay.
too.
It's okay.
Um,
Okay.
right now, ordering online is probably the best thing.
Yeah.
And if you're
And
not from my area, I can always tell you other places to go as well.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, and I've got that too. This is one of the reasons I love to do this with different people because I want people to know that you guys are accessible. The esoteric metaphysical is accessible anywhere you go, whether it's in Toronto with the Spiritual Emporium, with you in Cannington, in Sharon, like everywhere you go, even in Hamilton. There are actually two in Hamilton. I didn't even know that until just recently.
Yeah.
So these curiosity shops are everywhere. Metaphysical shops are everywhere. And you can go on Amazon and that too. And there's one actually that I really like online as well called the Shaman's Market, but that's very specific to more South American stuff. Okay, so just so you know, it's called the shamansmarket.com. And that's one of my favorite places to go if you're looking for like Palo Santo, right? Or Copalo, any of that kind of stuff you can get there. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have? What else do we have? We have so many people chiming in. This is great. That was me. That was me. Oh, it did come out twice. So Lynn says, love the energy at Cornerstone Wellness Center. Some super fantastic readings there. So Lynn's
Aw, thank
obviously
you.
been there. Yes. And I actually, before the show, I have to tell you, I had someone, Kim Sharon had messaged me privately, and she said, two of my favorite teachers are online today. She had you do Reiki. So you teach Reiki as well. Talk to me about that. Can Reiki attunements be done online?
So,
How do you feel about that?
well, so people who know me know that I think that things just need to be the way they need to be. So
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done attunements online. The last Reiki class I did was in person, but there's lots of other things I've done online. I really feel that we need to just do things that work the way we need them to work. The
Yeah.
universe knows that I'm a very simple person and that they love me that way anyway.
Yes.
So at this point, I'm not doing attunements online. I would prefer to do attunements in person, but if that's the way I need to do them in the future, then I'll figure out a way to do them that way.
Yeah, and I think too it depends on the person, because I know for
Yeah.
me there are people who are waiting for me to get back to the office, right? Because they definitely want to do it one-on-one, and there are people who are okay with online. And for me, it doesn't matter either way. For me, it's more of a safety thing because I do have a high risk person that I live with. It's not that I don't want to go into the office; I'm craving it, but I also know what my boundaries are. So if they're all, like you said, like I said, they're all, if I don't resonate with you right now, I have other people I can send you to, right?
Yeah.
And that's not something I'm averse to either. So Samantha says, if there is time for a second question, I was wondering if you feel anything from my cat that passed away a few months ago. His name was Cyrus. Um, I just
Still
get
tangled
really
up in his,
healthy.
still tangled
Sorry?
up in her feet too.
Yes. Yeah, it's funny because I see pride and I see that kind of stuff, but that's interesting that you say that because I do still get major connection to the owner. So can you say
Yeah.
that again so they hear you?
Very much tied up in your feet. So like you might feel like you're tripping over him still.
Yes. Yeah. I get really healthy, really strong. I feel like there was a real weakness before this animal passed, this animal crossed, and there's just none of that now. Clean as a whistle is what I get. Keisha Burnett says, Shannon, I'm looking for a shaman. For a shaman, are you able to lead me in the right direction? What do you consider yourself? Do you consider yourself a medicine person? Do you consider yourself a healer? Do you consider yourself? What do you consider yourself, or do you?
Um, Intuitive healer, I guess. I wouldn't consider myself a shaman. If I would say maybe working towards some stuff, I wouldn't recommend myself as a shaman.
But I have to
Um,
tell you, you do work shamanically, right? Because I feel like when you heal people, there's a trance state that you go into and you go very deep into those levels. So even though you don't label yourself a shaman, I believe that you work very much in that realm of shamanic medicines like I can't stand it when people turn and go, oh, I'm a shaman and this person's a shaman and we took a shaman class, so I'm a shaman now and I'm a high shaman. Okay, well, listen, you know what it takes to be a shaman? It's generational, and these are people who have worked lifetimes to earn the status that they have.
right.
So the reality is I believe you're a medicine woman who works very shamanically, and I'm very proud to know you because you understand
Thank
exactly what
you.
I'm talking about. Because even angel seers, I know angel seers, and my favorite angel seer is this woman, Val Tobin. She's actually an author. She's really cool. I have to have her on show. And she is all about, frou frou fluff bunny. So angel seers, sometimes I want to slap them because they're just like, oh, you have to stay in this high vibration, and you like you have to like love the angels, and you have to like talk to them up here. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? There are warrior angels, and there are angels who are frontline angels, and angels who don't smell like angels, right? They
Right.
smell like the street. And these are the people who connect to angels who really get it. Not to say that the ones who are on a high vibration don't, but understand we're meant to work with every vibration. So to be a true angel seer, you need to understand all of those different realms, right? So there are those who I call, oh, Carl hates it when I say this. He hears me, he'll yell at me from the other room. They're frou frou fluff bunnies, right? The ones who are like, okay, they mean well and they're really on the right path and that kind of thing. But it takes a lot of work, right?
Right.
Even for me, yes, I'm a psychic, but even sometimes I'm just like, okay, but there are people who've been doing this for like generations and who are hereditary. And I am hereditary, and I still have a problem with that. Right.
Right.
So when you're looking for somebody who's a medicine person or a shaman, really understand what that means. With Shannon, yes, I believe Keisha, you'd be on the right track with her because she is a medicine person and she definitely works shamanically. Definitely, she's the real
Thank you.
deal. She's the real deal. Okay. And my clients and my fans know that when I'm backing someone up, that takes a lot for me because I don't trust. Like I don't know about you, but I don't trust easily. And on this path, I'm just like, I'm very picky with who I surround myself with. And I think you're the same way. Yeah.
I am, and I'm picky about who I would send people to.
Yeah.
So if people come to me or you ask me specifically, can you help me with this? Energetically, if the universe tells me I'm not the right person, I will send you to someone, even if it is something I can help you with. Sometimes I'm not the one that's supposed to. But I'm
Yes.
also very picky of who I would send people to,
Yeah.
right? Like,
I agree. I had an email yesterday. I really like that. She goes, I want to do a 15-minute reading because I want to see if you resonate with me because I've had bad readings before. And I completely empathize because I've had bad readings before. And I told her, I said, that's actually one of the reasons I do the 15-minute reading because it's not just about the client, it's about the reader too, right?
right,
Do I resonate with you? But more times than not, if somebody's coming to me, it's not only because they resonate, but I actually might have the next step for them or the other reader for them who resonates fully with them.
right.
Right. So
Yeah.
I totally get that. Okay. So Mary Kellick says, is there any intuition for me regarding a relationship path? So I'm going back a bit on the questions.
Relationship path.
Ooh,
I'm not seeing that she's currently in a relationship. I'm not sure if that's right or not. But I'm
no, I
getting
get
that
that
it's
too.
not far off, right? Like
She's walking
it's
the path. I get that
yeah,
she's walking the path
yeah.
straight into the transition point that's going to lead her to a place where she's not expecting. So I see a cave and it's dark and she's not expecting this, but the relationships come for her is not going to be what she's, I'm going to
Used
say
to
attuned to. Yeah, attuned to. Like it's so, and it's going to be very not blindsiding, but it's definitely going to give her knots in her
under the
stomach and it's going to stress
radar,
her out. Yeah, it's going to
right?
stress her out because she's going to be like, I wasn't expecting this. I didn't sign up for this. This isn't what I wanted. Yeah, but just because you didn't want it doesn't mean that it wasn't the one you're supposed to have. Like when I met Carl, I was just like, okay, this is like not what I'm used to. This is Shannon knows. I'd be like, am I going crazy here? Like what is going on? And she's like, yeah, but it's the guy for you because X, Y, and Z, right?
Right.
And I think that's what you're going to come into is he's supposed to be out of your safe zone. Okay, he's supposed to be out of your safe zone. Nancy
Mm.
says, hello, ladies. Love your energy. So grateful for your show. Thank you so much. We're grateful for you guys being here today. I wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for you guys. She says, I've been feeling very stuck and blocked lately. Not sure what to do. Are there any messages for me in what direction I should be going towards? And this is Nancy Pace or Pache.
I feel like she's on a self-work journey, like really
Mm-hmm.
working on her own blocks, her own obstacles, clearing away a lot of mental clutter, like stuff that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah. And
And then the doors will start to open.
don't let today's energy interfere with that and bother you because I feel like you're being dragged down a little bit by this energy. That's where that, and they're saying it's illusion. It's a perception that you're stuck. You're not actually, that's just a perception. Okay, that's what I get there. Let's see, what else have we got here? We have so many. Any other gifts, anything that you would recommend, Shannon, for people for this holiday season, for anybody who is esoteric or witchy or energetic?
Sessions are always a good gift.
What?
So sessions, like getting a gift
Oh,
certificate for
sessions.
sessions. Yes, sorry, I'm not
Yep.
sure what
And
you
we,
think I said,
no,
but
I don't know. I thought it was like something really like sessions or so. I'm like, okay,
no,
that's
no.
bizarre, but all right, that's something new.
Sessions. So if you have
Sessions. Yeah.
if you have a friend or a family member who loves Angel, for example, get them a gift certificate to get a
Right.
session with her, something like that.
And we
Those
do have
always
gift
go over well,
certificates.
and that's stuff
Yeah.
that people don't always spend on themselves, right?
Yes, and they don't, right? Because
Yep.
they consider it a luxury or they're too afraid to, right? If
Yep.
you know somebody's like, I've always wanted to do this, I've always wanted to do this, I think they're great. And I think you have gift certificates too, do you not?
Yep.
Yeah, so these are really great things too. There was something else that they showed me. For some reason, I get massage table. Like massage tables for healers. If you know somebody who's a healer who can't afford a massage table, maybe families want to get together and get them something like that. For some reason, I feel that's a really important thing to say. I know billiards cues are really, really expensive. And what our friends will do is if somebody can't afford it on the team, we all get together and go, okay, happy birthday or Merry Christmas. And we get them a cue, like a really
Nice.
nice one. So I think things like that people don't think about. Healers sometimes need a table, right? Or healers might need something that's a little bit out of their range. Like I remember one year I wanted an amethyst mat. You know those beautiful amethyst mats that you get and you heat them up and then the energy of the stone begins to exude. I can't believe how incredible an experience that was working with that with clients. Like I could go
Oh
that much
yeah.
cheaper. So amethyst mats are really great, but they are pricey. Like they were pricey when I got one. So these are the kinds of things that they might want and might utilize. So it's not just little tiny chuchka things or tiny healing things. Sometimes there are larger. You know what's other thing too is I have a friend who's a healer. She's very young. She has her own space, and it's hard for her month to month because she is really trying, and she's got the clients and she's got the stuff, but she's just starting up. So even if family members get together and pay for her rent for 1 month, right? Or a couple of months. These are really great gifts for esoterics because it gives them the confidence that they're supported. And in our field, that's a big thing for us because we already feel sometimes that we're crazy or, can we do this in our lives? Or is this really a real job? So for our family and friends to get together and say, look, here you go. Here's a month's rent or 2 months rent or something you really need, says, I love you.
Right.
That's a big thing. It's a big thing. It
Well,
really
and
is.
keeping that in mind for this holiday season, if there's people that don't typically ask you for stuff, like pay attention to
Yeah. What
what
they're
they
looking
could
for.
potentially use, right? Like people don't usually ask for much, but you never
No.
know, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think even when we're talking about, like last week, we were talking about, socially aware gifts. Those are really, really important too. Maybe getting somebody something in their name, like, taking care of an animal, or buying them a bracelet from, like we were talking about, Four Oceans, or even different ones where money goes to a charity or something that they believe in. That's a big thing because you may not believe in it, but they do.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a huge thing. Last year, a friend of mine is vegan, and she thought her brother completely hated her, totally didn't understand her, totally didn't get her. And it was really cool because he got her a gift card from a vegan restaurant for a year. Like it was like
Nice.
$1,000 kind of things. And you're just like, holy mother. And he goes, you don't get it. He goes, I do understand you. I do know what you want. He goes, I wouldn't be vegan, but you are. And I understand the reasons why. And he wrote this entire thing in the card about how much he loved her and the path she was on and how he wished he could be like her, but he just loves pigs too much. And it's
Right.
just like,
And we
you know,
should be able to accept each other. And that's
yeah.
his way of saying, I see you, I support you, I
Yeah.
just can't be exactly like you. That's all.
And that deepens the relationship. And even if it's
Totally.
just a card,
Yeah.
even if it's without the gift card, just the card made a huge difference
And
in their
sometimes just
relationship.
being seen makes the huge
Yeah.
difference, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't have to totally believe in everything I do, but you support me anyway. You see me
Yeah.
anyway, right?
Well, it's
I
really
do.
funny.
Can I just
Is there a question there?
there?
Go for
Well,
it.
there's one that it keeps popping up, and
Go for it.
I don't think we got it, but it's
Okay.
from Brittany Ramsey Laura or
Okay.
Lara, and it says my niece is going through some things. She has fibromyalgia, and last week she was having
Oh, I
harmful
missed that one.
thoughts. So
Okay. I missed
it
that
keeps
one.
popping
Yeah.
up right there. So
Good. Go
I
for
just
it.
think, so I am being shown for her specifically that Brittany's niece, so this is for your niece, Brittany, she is a very tough cookie. So even if she's going through some really major things right now and has some other stuff happening, she is very well supported. She has a lot of angel energy with her right now. And I think it's important for her to know that she's not alone, that there are others out there that can help her
Yeah.
move through this.
And I was just going to say that it's also I do feel she does need some healing work here. I do feel
Yeah.
like there is something not it's not I don't know how to say that, but sometimes we gain attachments. So that could be a cumulative
I'm getting
energy that we've
blocks.
created too. Yeah. So the
Yeah.
block. All right, let's call it a block. So I think this is one where a gift certificate for a healing session would be fantastic, right? And that's work that both Shannon and I do. If we don't resonate, there's people in your area we can put you onto. But I think a healing session for her would be really great. And that's a gift certificate right there. But I think that's something that she can move through and she can work with angels, but so can you. Thank you. They just said that too. You can call on her angels to do work. Right.
Yeah.
So I had someone just 2 days ago call me because they couldn't find their brother for a month. And I said, well, you're not going to find him unless he wants to be found. And this is going to end badly if you don't do some work around it. The woman was an energy worker and she hadn't done energy work in years. And it's a really interesting thing. Well, a long time anyway. And it's a really interesting thing because him going away the way he did was as much about her as it was him. And I
Right.
said, you know what? You need to go and do some work do the Ho'oponopono, do the angel work you need to do, and that may shift things. I actually recommended Angel. She ended up doing the Ho'oponopono. Within 2 days, they found him, because they
Nice.
shifted his energy vibrationally just enough to bring him closer. So for you, Brittany, one of the things is you can do is I ask and give permission to all those of the light, right? Or all the angels of the light to help her move forward, or to help you guys intercede in her life a little bit more than you are. Because when you say, I give you permission, that opens doors for her and for her angels to do that. Okay. And it doesn't interfere with her free will, because
Because
what you're
I'm,
doing is you're saying, I'm asking.
yeah. And
You're
I'm
not
getting to,
commanding.
she just needs someone else to, like someone outside to tell her that she is not crazy and she is not losing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
And I
Like
and I
that's,
really feel like that. Yeah, I agree.
yep.
Yeah. And when people are in that dark space too, a lot of times they're connecting to their intuition on a very deep level and they don't know what to do with it. Right. So
Yep.
when we call on angels, guides, guardians, when we reach out to other healers, we're letting them know that they're okay and they're normal. And that's all
Yep.
they really need. So I agree with that. I agree with that. 100%. Thank you so much for being on my show today, Shannon. I'm
Thank you
so
for
happy you're here.
having me.
I'm really happy we got the tech stuff worked out. And all it was headphones,
Yay.
eh?
Yeah.
Like really, it's always the most simple, obvious thing.
I did shut my
So
phone down and turn it back on again because it's been wonky. So maybe it was that.
yeah, so when
I don't
that
know.
happens, it's usually background apps that we don't even know are running. So this
Yeah.
is why I always shut everything down. I live with an IT guy. And what's the whole thing? Have you turned it on? Have you turned it off? It's like,
Yes.
oh, really? So thank you for being here. Thank you everybody for being here. It's been a really, really joy being able to read with you, Shannon. I've had a great time reading. We've never done this live before, so this is a lot
No,
of fun. We're going to have to do this again. Okay, we're going
we
to have to
definitely
do this
will.
again. So again, if you want to find Shannon, it's at the Cornerstone Wellness Center, and this is on Facebook, or you can check her out on her private page, Shannon Taylor. You can find me at Raising Energy on my Facebook page or raisingenergy.com, or check me out on my Instagram at Raising Energy. Okay, everybody, we'll see you next week. I'm so happy had you here, and you know what? Let's do this again. Okay.
That sounds great.
See you later, everybody. See you later, everybody. We'll see
Thank
you next
you.
week on my show. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And I know everybody's starting their holidays. So be safe, be happy,